Good evening, heroes and heroines, and welcome to Practising Programming in C, where we're doing a little bit more stuff. Last stream, we got the set of. I'll just show you. If I just remove the test directory and run the program, don't know why that's highlighted like that exactly. On the program, you can see that it works. It's fetching the quotes, so it was taking a long time to get through each of these because it was having to curl it each time, which means that the caching isn't working. But we get the actual stuff through, and I believe Chromium should actually show us our thing. So this is a thing that we just produced. And it's all, well, in theory it's all correctly working, although it's Chromium, so Chromium can't actually do XHTML requests, so it can't actually do the index file. But that's that. So yeah, this is now building. This looks completely different, by the way. Did I update Firefox since I last ran it or something? Password required. Yeah, anyway. But we're building. That seems to be all kind of working, I guess. I suppose one thing we haven't tried that might break is if we do it on risky, and then if we just resave risky 0. What happens? So it did manage to reinsert that. Do I have a good way to test if that could be working? I guess if I just add some stuff, what happens? So that worked, I think. And that's done there. I mean, that it was a space, wasn't it? So it might have. Oh crap! Can't do that. So that's reinserted. Okay. Now, where are we? Wrong episode. So we've got all that crap in there, and the next and this offset. Do we know that that's actually done it right? I'm not sure if we do know. But at least it did sort of rebuild, reinsert somehow. Now the thing is though, if we close the program, in fact I will just undo that. Yeah, that reinserts as well. So maybe it is all working, that sort of reinsertion, but what I don't believe is working. And also, let me just see. Yeah, that does seem to have worked, doesn't it? You know, it must have. Well, I say it must have produced that. Yeah, I was going to do that again and have a look, but I can't because it's now not running. But now I believe if I run it again now, this should crash. And this is what I'm thinking of looking into today, just to see what's going on. So it's on line 6811. Let's see what's happening up here. Copy buffer sized. We're copying. end this base file name. So we had an issue in the last stream where a buffer, we initialized a fixed size thing. For example, like init file here, we initialized that and it wasn't cleared. So when we later went to try and write stuff into it, and using a wrap 0 function on it to turn it into a string, it would just get all mangled. It had stuff in it, so the wrap 0 I function was unable to actually figure out the correct size. Don't believe I can see a wrap 0 in here. I'm not sure whether I should expect to see a wrap 0. But we do have this input file thing there. It's possible that this is getting screwed up. This input file. Is it search inserted database? What line was it again? It was dying on 6811. So miles away, aren't I? 6811. That's down here. Copy buffer size into the db file buffer. He's trying to write a search entry of this size. Search entry, so where is that? So collection buffers, that's going to be populated by HTML to buffers. Maybe let's step in. Videos in private. Let's just step in and see what we're dealing with. If this size is equal to the entry insertion, and yeah, which it is going to be. Yeah, let's just step in and see what sizes we're talking about. So 6808. And it will trigger, won't it? Yeah. So what have we got? We've got 2363 for that. db file buffer size. That's that large. I would try to write the collection buffer search entry. So what is the size of that? That is smaller than our database file buffer size. What's the entry insertion start? That's that size. So what is one of our numbers here? What's going to marry up with anything? So the entry start is here. I think we're writing into the file buffer, aren't we? So if we do the file buffer size, take away the entry insertion start, what is that? That's 88. So that's still bigger than... Are we in a loop here? Okay, so that passes. So how do I know when it's going to fail? Oh, I see, it's reinserted. It's reinserted 24. So I think we saw that it reinserted everybody, didn't we? Now, one thing that we've stopped doing is reading a file into a buffer and null terminating it. So it's possible that after reading a thing in, we're still kind of operating on it as if there's a null terminator at the end. There's a wrap 0 base file name. What is base file name? That's a car star. Insert into DB. Let's just double check this. Insert into DB. So it's the 1, 2, 3. So it's the fourth thing. So there. So we've got one of these. Now insert entry after the thing. So we've got private entries I, base file name, and private entries is a database entry. Right, so this is going to be this is going to be sized. So I wonder if we want to change insert entry to take a string as the base file name, so we at least have the right size. And also private entries. Yeah, that's just setting it straight to be the entry. And for all that, it's probably not even that call that we're talking about there, because it isn't private. There's event name. So that, I believe, is null terminated. Here you've got project files dname. Project files. If strings, yeah, so that then null terminates this dude. And then finally to insert into DB. I guess I'll just continue to step through to see where we get to. And also another thing I could actually do, I could just let it complete, let it crash, see where we actually see which number we got up to, and then just kind of step through again up to that number. So it was on 63. Copy oversized. Okay, so let's do it again. And let's go through to 63. What line was that thingamajig on? 6811. Yeah, okay. So we want to see reinserted 062, I believe. So we haven't inserted anything there. Maybe we want to see It's either 62 or 63, whichever. What? Was that just doing some... Oh, it's fetching the quotes. So that was what that delay was. I suppose I could maybe search for it. Couldn't I just do like a, if the base file name matches 62, then break. So there's 62. And we do see the reinserted 63 showing up. Just try it. Alright, so we haven't died yet. Let's see what we've got. So the db file buffer size, take away the entry insertion end. Entry insertion end. So it's writing out. Where's the entry insertion end getting computed? So we're right at the end of the file here, by the way. Where's the db file buffer? Size computed. Basically the deal here is we need enough room in that buffer to store this amount of this buffer in here. So unless I'm mistaken, oh sorry, beg your pardon. It's that actually. So the pointer for that is going to be there. Oh, copy buffer sized. It null terminates. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, I'm guessing that it null terminates. Well, hold on a minute. Copy buffer sized actually. As it's called copy buffer sized, it shouldn't null terminate, should it? Yeah, and it doesn't seem to be. Because that implies that it, yeah. So it's copy buffer just without null terminating. So that is the right function to call in that situation. So the pointer is equal to the location plus the insertion start. And then we should be inserting the actual dude. So what is the db file buffer size? Take away the entry insertion start. So we have got enough characters. Right? Because we're not null terminating that. Oh. Oh shit, yeah, of course. So this one doesn't have to be greater than or equal to. This just has to be greater than, and you don't do the +1. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Where's the test? Right. So yeah, I must have copied the test from somewhere. And also, I think this one can easily just be done at the top, can't it? String length. Source pointer is equal to that. Source location. And source ID. Well, also, since it's sized, copy buffer null. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so I just copied this. I copied the error from the copy buffer no null. Is that right? Does that still exist even? It doesn't still exist. So it's writing it from... Let's just get the full screen on this. So, copy oversized on call online that can accommodate that character string this. Why exactly? Is that using the source ID? Sized online this can accommodate this character. So this really should be the size, right? And then it should be the size again. Although this is probably going to work. And then it's the source location, isn't it? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that just seems like the right thing, doesn't it? And like I was saying, it should die before it tries to do the stuff. I think I might actually like to make that be a uint64. So that was unfortunate. Wow, so that was it. Still unsure about this though. Source ID can accommodate that character. Like that should totally be. And string length. I mean, surely. Well, I guess yeah, it sets the pointer back to there. So okay. So unfortunately. Yeah, this is kind of a bit busted, really. I think because. I mean, maybe we sort of lucked out because whenever we do a copy buffer, we don't need to... Well, actually, that's not true, is it? Because this thing does actually set the pointer back to where it was. Doesn't it? As long as it's not terminated. I'm going to change this. And instead of making it assume that the buffer is not terminated, I'm going to say that when the buffer comes in, we're basically going to have the pointer at its furthest most point. So we want to use that size. We want to use a different pointer to actually copy from. Yeah. So we need a greater than equals for the not terminator. Oh, so that's garbage. It's like, what is that even trying to test? Right. Jesus. It shouldn't be this at all. It should be like... If the dest pointer take away the dest location, added that the same thing of the source is greater than or equal to the dest size, then we're in trouble. I think that's what you want to be testing, isn't it? Maybe the idea is that I'm supposed to, rather than, because you're copying buffers, maybe the thinking behind this printing the ID was so that you just don't have a whole terminal load of stuff printing out. I think that might be what I was thinking about, actually. So yeah, let's maybe stick with that, actually. Now, rather than doing this, it's like, right, so you copy from the start of the buffer. You're copying the amount of the buffer up to there. You're not moving anything of the source. And then having done all of that, you've incremented past your dude, and then you set that pointer to be a null terminator. I think that's a bit more correct. And then in a similar fashion, copy buffer sized. So if dest pointer, take away that plus the size, is greater than the dest size. Actually, hang on. It's less than the size. Right. And then you don't null terminate this. So let's see if that's done anything good for us. Oh, it's just broken it completely. So, okay, we're still fine. Okay. Now this guy, it doesn't take a format string, does it? And neither does this, actually. So what does this take? It takes a line number of dest and of source. This only additionally takes the size. This guy, or rather this guy, does all of this, but additionally has to pass the size in. I suppose we've got these macro, these dudes here, haven't we? The errors saying copy buffer things. So we couldn't actually make well, I mean, I guess we could let them fail. Yeah, screw it. Let's go with that. So I think the next thing we want to do is see about these quotes and why we're losing those. And also while we're here, I think we might as well configure Andrew Waterman. So what was his settings? So I think that's correct. So you can see here basically that what that was about. Skipping that, Andrew Waterman, no credentials for guest A Waterman. Now this please contact, I think I might as well just do that as well while we're here. No credentials for them. Now, this is going to be basically like I guess a credentials error. Error credentials. The person or actor and their type. So what have we got? Push credentials. I'm talking about this role. Okay. Now, we had an example, didn't we? We have done something where we did, and that's not going to fly. Perhaps you'd like to add a new medium to your config file. Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. So the person is going to be well, hold on. We could use just a name, couldn't we? Jane Doe. Homepage. Oh yeah, right. So this is actually now the URL. Does Jane Doe have a homepage, I wonder? I don't want to do a thing where I'm actually taking somebody to an actual legit website. So I don't want to be kind of advertising anything like that. Yeah, I don't think I should go to the FBI. So it should be linked to Facebook. I mean, we could use example.org or .com or whatever. Yeah, I mean, we could. Should we do that? Just use example.com. Gosh, I've really got that many open. Okay, so there is actually a thing. So then let's just comment out Andy Waterman, just so we can actually see if that does anything. No credentials for Get Andy Waterman. That didn't look like. Oh, I don't call the thing. So do we also have the HTML video metadata? We kind of do, don't we? Is that what you need? Basically, I might want to print out the thing, sort of the file name or something. Well, there we go, this ain't right. Good to go pass by here. And pushing credentials for a guest. What is the difference? Ah, yeah, so this stream isn't gonna get popped, wasn't gonna get in anyway. But if I leave that as it was, is that right? Hang on. How was it? Yes. If I leave that as a co-host, which is incorrect because it's a guest, what you'll see, I'll show you where that makes its appearance. Oh shit. So this is metadata annotators. Okay. So it's not member, it's actually this. I think it's like that, maybe. So the member is the owner, or the host. Co-host is co-host, guest to guest, but we're erroneously leaving this as co-host, just for illustrative purposes. Metadata annotator, something like that. Okay. So now what's its problem? Co-hosts. Okay. It's that, isn't it? Okay. So there's our pretty little error message. I'd just like to add a new person to your config file. For example, person equals a Waterman. Name equals Jane Doe. Homepage is equal to this. Support is equal to their support platform. I mean, we could be a little bit fancier still. And colorize them like this, couldn't we? Also, the support, I think we should probably expand this so people have a bit of it. They could be guided by this to produce an entire person. So what do they need? Support and also it's going to be URL and icon. But before I do this, let me just illustrate to you what I was actually driving at. Did we build it? We didn't build it. So we needed to. Rather, did we get Andrew in? So I can show you it. Right. So there we go. We've inserted a risky 18, so with a bit of luck that has actually inserted it in the right place. Where are the credits? The credits aren't there. Quotes, references, filter, and that. Okay, so that's not right. So I'll tell you what, I need to fix that. Yeah. I'll just describe it. Basically, push credentials, error credentials. All this should have done. I mean, you could have seen it in the error, couldn't you? Co-host. I think that would have said no thing for co-host. But like, there's no credentials for co-host A Waterman. Perhaps you'd like to add a new person to your config. So basically, in setting co-host here, it would have listed this person. It would have listed this guest as a co-host. I can actually show you on Hamid Hero. So, if we look at Andrew Bromage, or Bromage, I'm not exactly sure. So there's this credits menu. I don't know if you can make that out, but it says guest above his name. That's all that it's talking about. We're not getting the credits through at all. So let's do the guest like that. I think let's also just do a to do here. Colourful formatting? Question mark. And then let's figure out where the credits menu is going. So we are copying straight to the buffer. Credits. Push credentials. So this is, you can see, do copy straight to buffer as well. Copy to buffer. So yeah, all of this stuff is copy straight to buffer. It's the credits menu buffer. Now let's see where we end up. But credits credit menu. So yeah, we're not skipping. We have built the credits. If we have a credits menu, GP menus credits. So we're just not setting that. Oh, yeah. So we got rid of that, didn't we? Right, I think we made build credits take has credits menu, but we changed it to determine whether it has a credits menu. Well, also, screw that. Rather than saying if it has credits menu, well, it's got that there. So does that ever get used? There's your problem. It never gets used. So basically, let's get rid of this. Right, that's all you need to know. You just need that if there's some stuff in the credits menu, then you need to be copying it. I think this should be correct as well. Surely we still have the credits menu. Won't come down here, don't we? The credits menu pointer. Now, Oh. So right. So that's only here. This doesn't go into this. That essentially means if it's still at the start. And you can kind of see this stuff over here, this whole truth table. I kind of had to figure out this entire thing in order to determine what's what here. So I'm just trusting that that's correct. Also, the has references menu is a thing, isn't it? I think that's right, isn't it? If has credits menu. Yeah, it was if not has credits menu. Jesus Christ. Quite a lot of this if has credits menu. I mean, now that I think about it, should I just have, rather than computing that all the time, should I just, yeah, I'm going to back it out actually. Yeah, I am backing that out. So the only place where we need to know about if we have a credits menu is right down there. So basically what I want to say is, right, I think that would be the better way to do it. Because you only need to know this information right down at the bottom, I think. Is that the bottom? Append identifier. Yeah, it's kind of tough to say actually. So that's the annotations. Let's just see now though if we actually get the credits menu coming through. And let's look at it in Firefox. So that we have it. So we've got that over there. So we've got a Patreon button over there. And we've got a send out button over here. So it's clearly screwed up royally. So, so we've got Mio there, then that, then this. So I'm just generating the credits menu incorrectly now. That is unfortunate. Build credits is going to be responsible for that. Yeah, you can see we're using this here. If you actually support, we do that. I think we just need to copy another string to buffer down here. It's a bit of a guess, but I think that's what you need. Actor support. So if they have a thing, yeah, I'm gonna risk it for a biscuit, and say that this is what you do. Oops, blimey. If this produces it, then that's fine. But if not, then we will also copy to buffer. I guess. Well, we don't care. It's not definitely not that. So let's see. Oh, we need to rebuild. So we're trying to make risky 12. Am I logged into risky business here? I'm not. So I'm trying to look at risky 12. And we're trying to produce this menu here. Trying to produce that. But we are producing. So there's a div there that's just sitting around. So it seems to need a closing span, doesn't it? It needs a closing span and a closing div, I think. Is that true? Maybe just a closing span, actually. I think it's span then div then div. Is that right? So div, span class credits, all of that. Div A. So we've got div A. So okay. So maybe here it's just span. And I think also 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe. Just double check that. So we're producing this and then the two divs, two closing divs. So the only thing that we're missing is the span. So yeah. I think that's right. Build it. Because we rewrote this function the other day. And we clearly just missed out a bit of information. So there's no snafus down there. Previously we're getting this information. And we're now getting it correct. So that's the host me error occurrer, the annotator map masqueraders. all that stuff's coming through correctly. Cool. Right. So yeah, we're not handling multiple support platforms. We still need to actually figure out the style for that. Like, I'm not sure how to. I'm really not sure how to deal with this. Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe when you hover over this, bearing in mind you have to handle the keyboard as well, right? So you have to be able to, like, say C, and then, you know, you're at somewhere. Now when you go over to here, what do you do? I mean, do you just, like, do you make it slide out to sort of fill the... Yeah, I mean, get sort of slide out to take precedence over this guy, right? So it sort of it would obscure some of that person's name if it has to. And then have a thing where you sort of, so it's still horizontal. So then you can, like, go right and left between each support platform. Do you do that? I mean, the downside of doing that is that you sort of, you don't have a way to, like, change which one is in focus and then come back to the person's name without kind of bringing focus back to be this person, to be this this icon. Because if you imagine that, say, like, I have a Patreon and a Send Owl, right? Send Owl happens to be the first one, and when I'm hovering over this, that's the leftmost one, and the Patreon one would be to the right of it. If I want to go to the Patreon one, and then I come off the credits, and then I go back on the credits, and just highlight Mama's Greatness, because the Patreon thing was the last icon that I had focused, I would probably want to have that be the one that is displayed, right? Assuming we just show one. I mean, I guess an option could be to show them all, really. Yeah, I mean, I guess that is kind of an option. We're certainly not stuck for space here, so this guy could actually just be pushed along. So yeah, maybe that's just what you do. You just line them all up. Oh right, yeah, free credentials. It's never been called anywhere. So this is going to be in HTML to buffers, isn't it? Surely. So push credentials, it fits space for a speaker, and that's it, isn't it? It doesn't allocate any more space than that. So you just need to clear the speakers, as this guy's doing. So where we use the speakers, because it's build credentials, build credits. So whatever we call this is this, basically. It's whenever we use the speakers. This is probably a different function now. So guess you do it there. Because it sort of seems like you've used all the stuff down to here, doesn't it? Is that true? Market index equal to that. Add a reference count. Should we just see what happens? I mean, actually, it probably would just be fine to do it straight out to build credentials, wouldn't it? Would it? Oh no, of course it wouldn't, because the speakers need to be used. Yeah, so let's just see if that still produces what we need. It doesn't. So, speaker. So it's kind of interesting that hold on. There's more stuff. Has credits menu, has reference menu, has filter menu. Media count, is there has credits menu? Oh, of course there was, yeah. Correlation buffers menus. Maybe you do that here. It's possible that the credits menu. Well, why would I'm not exactly sure I understand why the credits menu would need that stuff to be around. Let's build this and then let's look at the actual message. Attempting for an address which was not marked. Oh, of course it isn't. I think. Speakers S. Hold on a minute. He's a speaker. Speaker's speaker is what we actually want to be resetting. So free credentials. Should we say the speakers? Speaker, yeah. That's just a bit of a snafu there. So yeah, in light of that, as I'm sort of pondering, I think straight after we've done this, use the speakers, you can just straight up free them here, can't you? Nope. Okay. Is that just a free after use? Oh, it's just a double free. So we're in a loop or something? Yeah, maybe we were in a loop. Well, not there. But we were here. So after having gone over all the annotations, I guess you do it here, don't you? Now, build credits. This is happening before the loop, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Gotcha. So we set the speakers up here, build the credits before the loop. Then we do the loop. We need the speakers within the loop so that we can actually produce annotations that use the speakers. And then you finally free the credentials. Alright, that's fine. So Been at it for an hour. Should we have a quick look at the quotes just to see the caching situation? Build quote. I'm not sure what this is going to be. Should fetch quotes. Should fetch quotes too. Build quotes. So what is quote info exactly? It's a date and a text. Should fetch quotes. Don't know what that in ID is supposed to be. Or the quote ID. Yeah. Okay, fine. Quotes URL. No, unable to open quote cache. Make the quote cache. I've opened the quote cache path. Where is that quote cache produced? Cache directory length. Copies from the quote cache dir. Quotes. Quote cache path. Cache dir length. I wonder if the cache dir isn't getting its slashes stripped. Well, I should just step into it. Why is that there? 3529 is what I wanted to. Why can't it go any higher than that? So we've got Homemark, cache, Cinera, quotes, Miyatatsu. So it thinks that the cache is supposed to be there. That sounds reasonable to me. It does contain quotes. So copy that cache available is equal to false. Apparently, until we try to have opened that quote cache path with a pen plus. So we did hit the cache available, didn't we? Is this a case where we're not iterating through the file correctly? Now that we're not null terminating it. Search quotes. Let's try and jump into that. Can we do that? Probably can't. Yeah, that just didn't let me jump in, did it? So let's just try and let me do that. Or rather, because we're gonna hit this again. What is the cache size? That's set to 12, the 1212. And what is the quote staging? Pointer, take away the quote staging location. Quote staging. This should just be a file, shouldn't it? The cache size. Oh. This seems like complete garbage, doesn't it? Like, if there's a file available, shouldn't you just straight up load it in and set the size to be the size it needs to be? Yeah, I might redo this. Possibly not now. I might leave this till tomorrow. In ID. Staging. Maybe this patch wasn't the best idea. So that's the start of it, isn't it? Copy through no format 2. String 0 to int. In ID. 0 to the ID. So what is the ID? The ID is 9. And we'd copied we haven't copied anything to in ID, have we? Sorry, yeah, we have. We're copying something into the in ID. Copy string no format T. So it's copying from here until this terminating thing. And then it's skipping past the one. Sorry, skipping past the comma. Having copied the in ID to there. Okay. And then we skip past that thing. So we're looking for ID 9, right? And that is here. Well, it's not a new line. We're going to plus plus. And then once it is a new line, we jump past it, right? So we're 52 characters into this buffer. Cache size is 1212 as we've established. let's just keep jumping to there and see what we're getting told the quote staging pointer is, or rather what the in ID is set to. So it's now set to 2. Three. 4. And remember, trying to find a 9. A string 0 to int. I guess we could just see if we ever get into here, maybe. Because look for 9, remember. 6, 7, 8, and then 9. Here we go, we've got the 9. Did we get in here? We do get in here. So we apparently found the quote that we're talking about. Let's get past to the... So we're here. We're skipping past this information here. Well, we're copying the time into there. So what is the time? Yeah, that looks right. So RC found, right? Now what? If the search quotes, if that is equal to RC unfound, then we free the buffer. Build quote, so it shouldn't have been RC unfound, right? So we don't go into there. We do copy string to buffer. So now we're back out at HTML to buffers, aren't we? So what's going on? Why is it apparently not caching? Right, I mean, we are hitting this, aren't we? I mean, surely it's just not taking that long to retrieve it from the disk, is it? There's a curl there and a curl here. So if cache is available, so we've kind of established that the cache should always be available. We're now curling quotes. ID 14 it wants. Well, there's ID 14. So that's a double digit number. Could that have something to do with it? Which one do we get to here? So apparently the cache is available. If we should fetch quotes or search quotes is equal to RC unfound. Should fetch quotes is equal to thingy 1. So we've been passed in the last quote fetch. Oh, is this busted? If the current project casts... Oh, bollocks. That's all it is. If the current Redis cache directory length is greater than that, and the time of the last quote fetch. Oh, hang on a minute. Ah. Maybe it was this, actually. If there's no cache directory, or the time is ripe to fetch the quotes. That's going to be it, isn't it? That's our nice little bug. And yeah, now it doesn't bother to fetch those quotes. It just does it the once. So, yeah, strangely enough, I think it's just all working. Like, even the database stuff seems to be working, which we didn't even look at. Right? I mean, I think if I toggle this on, we shouldn't be building, should we? So there's default config, so that's just printing. Let's just go over all the AFEs. So this is template integration. Ah. Okay, so we're not actually testing the template integration. That's fine. This is printing. This isn't necessary because we're hard coding the current project. This just looks like upgrading the DB, which we're ignoring for now, but we do need to do it, and setting the cache directory in the default config. This might not have to exist because the default cache directory is already set for the config, and that's exactly what we do. And then the print usage. The command line args, yep. We need to change how they're gonna go. So apparently it wants to remove the if medium exists. Not sure. Come to that when we get there. This is just printing out. So yeah, that's it. So the only things that we need to do, I think for the next stream, what we'll do is we're going to toggle on AFE and get template integration working again without the right. Toggle on AFE again, template integration working again without the notion of forced integration. And then I think we do the, well, I think that might be it actually. We might just be on with the database. Because all the other stuff was just printing, wasn't it? We have got these little things to do as well. I mean, actually, what should I just? How long have we been going? An hour and a half. Should we just have a quick go at this template force integration? Basically, what I'm kind of thinking of this for this is to just it's basically if zero out the notion of mode force integration. With the current mode, the current project mode. This is AFE'd anyway. That's AFE'd. So yeah, the only place that is even relevant is in here, which is the pack template function. Bloody hell. Right. So you basically just do that. Let's just pop this one down back down to AFD, and let's toggle off the AFE. So yeah, so this dude is getting through now. So I think we just do that, just all the way down. Let's try and record a macro for it. Q F for force integration. See, sitting on the exclamation point, you want to go like this, 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 this. So that doesn't look quite right, does it? Unfortunately. Ah, so this one will be right. This one won't because there's more F's involved. And then it's just like, you don't bother to check that. And maybe it could be an idea to, rather than using if0, although it's kind of handy, maybe mark them up to say force integration. Just so you know what you're talking about. This one, these are pretty clear what these guys are talking about. Because they're just there. I mean, technically this kind of is as well, as is this, frankly. I was just thinking to disambiguate from the AFE, but now that I think we've handled this, maybe we don't bother. Right, we just consider that to be whatever it is. So yeah, that's all the mode force integration stuff. Out of the picture. This is AFE still. Now the reason that I thought to retain this was just in case we actually want to reintroduce this idea, and it'll just kind of save us trying to figure out how to do it, kind of. So do we have any templates around, I wonder, that we could use just to test this thing? So we do have some templates. Should we just say that the templates directory is going to be this? Template directory is that, and then the so the player template is going to tend to be this, but for risky it's going to be this. I mean, we're only using risky for now, aren't we? So I guess we could just set that one under risky. It's got project risky here. And then the index template. So all of these guys have different index templates, which is kind of funny. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I presume that's what it's called. So now if we do this, it might just work. Of course it doesn't. Received assets root dir. So on line 54. Ah, that's unfortunate. So I'll tell you what's going on here, probably. What this crash is caused by, which we need to fix, is on line 3230. Basically, what is it? Line 9148. Here, current approach is equal to this. Now, what we need to do is, we should, when we do parse config, we do this, and then what we should do is, we can only do all this stuff if we've got a config. So where do we go down to? Surely it's not down to the whole way, is it? So if we just let that fail again, we get the error. Now, it's worth bearing in mind that when we do this fully, we're actually going to allow us to stay awake across invalidly initialized config files. Invalid field template dir, by the way. On 54, sorry, on line 50. Invalid field template dir. I wonder why that's counting as an invalid field exactly. Oh, that's why. Thank you, Mr. Config warning. Invalid field template dir. Cool. Now, this error here, it could have been nice if it had some suggestions, couldn't it? You know, like it sort of goes through the whole list, and it's like it kind of figures out which is the closest one to what you kind of written. I guess that could be fun to do sometime. But we've got this error here, so we just need to attend to that. Build again, and now what's going on? Non-existent image asset, logo 32. Non-existent image assets. Should that cause us to crash? Well, not crash, but should it cause us to exit? Don't think it should it? Uh, packing templates. Push asset, place asset. Push asset is probably what we want to be looking for actually. Asset type. If we can't get an asset, then we try and push it on. The result is that. Have errors. Ah, okay. So let's just see what happens if we just give ourselves a logo 32.png in this location. Because I think that's what they're talking about there. What's it actually wanting? Logo.32. That's Ben Bland's ABBA tribute. So let's just say that we stick that in, where was it? They want it in Home at Temp Cinera Handmade Network. Images, I presume. Okay. Interesting. And yeah, I think this is okay. We don't have these CSS, but yeah, that's no worries. But yeah, all our stuff got generated correctly. So that's interesting as well. When we have errors, I think really invalid templates, I think we need to somehow stick around. HTML free. Yeah, I suppose at what point you determine. So this is invalid template, let's go to RIP. Yeah. So Okay. I think that's what we want. But for now, let's kibosh the template, people. And just use the actual, just use the hard-coded crap. Tell you what, before we go, it might be fun, although difficult actually, because we might not have enough people configured, to introduce Handmade Hero. Let's just do the 2 for now. And I mean, just see if that just gives us the guys automatically. Pretty funny if it does. And then basically where you seem risky here, you just kind of say get print from config hero code. We will need person for handmade for Casey. And the icon, we already have a send out icon. So let's just see what this does. Still building risky. So why isn't that exactly? Didn't we tell this to build? Aha. Read memory access, HTML to buffers. Doesn't like something. So it inserts into DB. Maybe there's code index. So it did manage to produce code index. Index.html. Let's just delete test and try again. Okay, so it doesn't like something. Interestingly, it's just something that's specific to Handmade Hero. I think we are including this thing, aren't we? Maybe we haven't set the default medium. And that's something that we necessarily do have to do. So Cinera, sorry, the unit day. I don't think anything else should be contentious, as far as I can tell. Yeah, cool. So the only thing there was the... Oh, checking privacy. So ignore privacy could be true. The contentious thing was default medium, wasn't it? If there's no default medium set, we need to handle that. We need to handle something else as well here, by the looks of it. So let's make a note for that. Oh, hang on a minute. May the config parser warn if the default medium does not exist. Well, is it the config parser? Who's responsible for erroring out? Yeah, I suppose. This is an inserts into DB somehow, I think. Okay. Let's have one last quick look at this. And then we can all go home. So this is in insert entry sync DB with input. Insert entry HTML to buffers 5262. It's trying to do this abbreviation. So we had this situation, didn't we? Where the speakers were greater than that. So I think in this situation, what's happened here is that it's trying to get the abbreviation from, well, who's it for actually? The author. Yeah, I don't know. But this is similar to the situation that we were in at the start of the last episode. Right, we were crashing on here with the abbreviation not set. And the abbreviation is not set for the annotator. So yeah, and I mean, I said that speaker index. So you shouldn't have been able to get up to me because I'm not in the speakers list. So yeah, I think this just needs a bit untangling just a little bit. These little cases here. This if I know author speakers count 1, all this garbage. I think we just need to untangle this. And then we should be good to go. Because what I assume is going on here is that yeah, I don't know actually. I was going to say that it could be the Andrew Bromwich episode. Well, there's no entry for Andrew either, is there? For that matter, so that probably should be skipped. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what this thinks it's trying to do. There's Debutan. Keeps popping up. Such a legend. Yeah, this is some serious. I don't know, what do you call it? Historically beautiful stuff here. All these names. Zed Silver's there. There's Chronal Dragon. Dustin. And then we append some assets here for some reason. That's probably because somebody has a template, but unfortunately they seem to. Oh no, they do get appended. So I guess code 82 has a template. Code 82 does not have a template. So who is the other person? Maybe code 81? Interesting, so I wonder why those guys thought they needed to append those things. Because yeah, there's definitely no template there as far as I can see. Cinera icon filter. Yeah, I'm really not sure what that thinks it's trying to do, because these guys shouldn't have changed it. Anyway, should they? Unless maybe this was the first one that it managed to produce. Actually, that's probably it. You probably have to skip all of these guys. That seems to be exactly what's happened. Yeah, it's had to skip everyone. And it's only once it got down to this guy that it actually manages to succeed. So that's because I'm the annotator of code 81. So we've got me and we've got Casey. That's all we need. And strictly speaking, this ain't being used. I don't think. Maybe it is actually. But yeah, I think we need to look into this error tomorrow, which is to do with this abbreviation thing. you remember what I was thinking about this thing here? So this thing sorts, and then what it does is it does this. I wonder. Speaker I. So speaker I. Person. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So they don't actually. Why exactly did they only swap in the ID? Oh, they're not. They're swapping the entire person. Speaker. J. Person. Speaker. So what I'm kind of driving at here is, why is this person, why doesn't it just take the whole person? Sorry, take the whole speaker. Could you do this? Nope. Do that. I suppose maybe you couldn't, because these aren't actually, they're not initialized separately. So you can't sort of yank out a bit of this. Maybe. That doesn't like something. Yes, that mustn't have been doable. Don't know. Let's leave it there and come back to this tomorrow. See what's going on with this particular call. We'll see how we can handle it, because we sort of know what the deal is, don't we? We know that there's this abbreviation that we can set, but the trouble is the way that we're doing the speakers thing. Oh, was it push credit? No credits. The way that they were doing the abbreviation is that we applied the abbreviation after we sorted everyone. So I suppose actually it might not hurt to do this. Does that return anything? No. But that could return something, couldn't it? And it's returning a speaker, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah, so you get the right speaker out. If you just return a speaker pointer. Well, the annotator isn't going to get. It's not going to get pushed, is it? So they don't even come into it. So yeah, I just don't know. Yeah, rather than trying to clamber through this today, let's just let's put it up until tomorrow, and we can look at it properly. Go right through exactly what's happening. See which file we're even talking about here. See what information we've been given and how we're handling it, and how we're getting to that particular line. How we're getting to that line and with whom, I guess. Because, I mean, if you're here, you're going to have to want to write something, aren't you? So you can't very well have the display name being blank. What I'm basically saying is... Oh. What I'm saying is, like... do that. Right. Because that's the test that we're failing. We're failing the... reading from the abbreviation, right? So we could not do that. But the thing is, if we're in here, we need to use a display name in this situation for something. So we're missing a load of days out. Oh, of course we are, because we haven't got the credentials. Can you remember what the where we were crashing on before? So we reinserted 228 and it was the guy after 228. So 228 and then 231. So we've got Casey and we've got Miblo. Does it think? No, it can't think that. I was going to say, does it think that it's supposed to be treating the blackboard as an author? But that isn't at all what it could be potentially doing. I don't think. Two, three, one, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, this isn't going to even show us the right dude. Did I ask a question, maybe? Doesn't look like it. Oh, have they proved that it doesn't have a P verifier? Who asked that? And Casey Muratori. Have they proven? Ah. Has anyone definitively proven? Ah, interesting. So Casey's the host. So we do produce that value for Casey, but because there isn't another speaker, because I'm not counted as a speaker, he doesn't get a colour set for him, and then he also doesn't get a thing. Like, that's not right, is it? I mean, that is what's happening, but why is that the case? I guess, again, it's just this garbage, isn't it? It's like, if I know author or speakers count is that or and that. So if there's an author or the speakers count is greater than 1, so the speakers count is going to be 1 because I don't count as a speaker. So we're getting into this area erroneously, basically, because we shouldn't be treating Casey him as a speaker in this instance. You know, we should just show him up. He should just appear using his regular handle, like Cinera, which we've written in the thing. He shouldn't be appearing in this thing here with his full name. I don't think. So that's the bug. That's what's going on there. I don't know if that made any sense to anybody, but I'm going to note that. And then we can actually handle it tomorrow. I think we just need to, like I say, just untangle this case here. So date, so it's like hero code 0 032. Sorry, 232. Hero code 231 exhibits the bug, which is basically that's one speaker, the host inventory. Says someone in the chat as author. Right, the credits. I think it's 1 hour, isn't it? Erroneously. $2. We credit him using his full name erroneously. Okay, so Casey actually says 2 things in the chat. Credit him using his full name. I mean, maybe we actually just produce an abbreviation for him. But it's not a chat comment. Oh. It's not a chat comment. Well, hold on a minute. Maybe it was a chat comment. So we distinguish between chat comments and speech. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right. Chat comments and speech. In this case, it's a chat comment, so he's getting credited. So this thing here, programming is the involved medium. So that isn't counting him as chat comment. So there's definitely some bullshit going on here. Insert category. We're not getting there because I think we need to figure out what it is. Well, basically, we just need to figure out what to use when, basically. I guess it's when a credited person. is that supposed to be like that? No. When I create a purchase, the author of a track, I always tag it authored. I think that's really the deal. Only well, hang on a minute. Track comment. Yeah, we need some logic to figure out like what the rule is to say that they're not authored, but they get their full name. This is tomorrow's work. This is what we're doing tomorrow. But I think for now, at least, we're actually building, which is really cool. We're producing Animate Hero, so I think we can just like we can actually work with the new program. It's kind of funny to see all of these, but I think what we could do actually, we could just like be guided by all of these, skipping these, no credentials of annotator to Debian Tan, right? We could just be guided by these to add the people that we need, right? Because I think we've got some credentials from the old thing of people that aren't really in Handmade Hero, so they'd be pointless having those in the configuration for Handmade Hero. So yeah, I might as well just go through those and then add the guys that we do actually need. But anyway, that is for another time. Might leave this running, maybe. It's using 245 megs, so maybe it won't actually. That'll be because we're building in OG. I wouldn't be surprised if we are using more memory, by the way, because I haven't gone through and properly sussed out whether we're freeing all the right stuff at the right times. So it's quite possible that we're not. But now you see that Cinera doesn't even show up, so maybe we're possibly fine. We've gone through many episodes there. It's apparently currently resident. It's using 16 meg resident. Yeah, I don't know if that's reasonable or not, actually. I mean, it's certainly not much more than it used to be. I'm thinking it used to be 11, 12-ish. Maybe it's reasonable for it to be 16 now. Maybe we're absolutely fine. Not sure. But, yeah. That's your lot. So thank you very much, Heroes and Heroines, for being here for this late night streaming. We're getting there. And until next time, I will, bid you farewell. farewell for now.